Hey, what is going on, crypto people? What the world? I don't even know what day of the week it is anymore. Is it Thursday? Or is it Friday? Like, I have no idea. Is that terrible? I think it's Talk Thursday. Let me know in the comments what today is. What's going on? I don't even know what day it is. I guess that's kind of pretty cool where you really don't have to know. But in any case, guys, listen. Happy Talk Thursday to each and every one of you. I still think what an awesome time to be an early adopter in this new asset class that is a digital asset space. You and I, we're playing a game that 99.99% of the masses don't even know is being played. And we're winning. We're winning. I know it may not feel like it, but we are absolutely winning. I want to share my thoughts today with an interview I was listening to. Oddly enough, or interestingly enough, I should say, it's with Rand Nooner from Crypto Banter and Raul Paul from Real Vision. And I think it's interesting because I shared on a live stream yesterday that I had a little back and forth with a guy on X about both Rand Nooner and Raul Paul, Solana, Sui, kind of that conversation. We had a little back and forth. And I'm not sure who this guy is. I kind of think I know who he is. But, we had a little back and forth. And I think a healthy back and forth is good. I think it's great, right? We're not going to be in the business of blocking. And we're not going to, get, take something overly personal and get nasty. But anyway, so we have this back and forth. And he's going in on both Rand and from Crypto Banter and Raul from Real Vision. And I'm like, nah, that doesn't make sense, right? There's something that you're missing. And I kind of shared my experience with both of them and, that type of deal. And, how it was pleasant for me and how it was profitable for me, but more pleasant in that I'm learning, right? My skill set has been leveled up, right? Because I'm learning, and that's where all the value is, right? Type of deal. I thought it was interesting. It was a nice little back and forth, and next thing you know, he's going on Solana, and Solana's this, and Solana's that. And all these, all the negative stuff, the metrics aren't really real, the fees, when the fees go, the chain's going to go, all of these different things. And it reminded me of something that my mentor taught me at a very, very young age. And he would say that, it was so funny. He would say, this is what he would say. And it was just his way of communicating. Again, I'm 19, 20. This dude's, I don't know, probably 50, way, back in the day, 50, 52, something like that. And he says, right, hugely successful guy. And he says, he would say, CJ, I'm sure that the thousandaires are probably nice people. But if you want to live a life like we live, you're going to have to start listening to more people that have what we have. And look, I'm straight out of Brooklyn, right? I'm projects kid from Brooklyn, New York, right? This is my second year in the Navy, right? Single parent home, no male figure mentor, right? So I'm listening to this guy and I'm trying to understand, what is he talking about? You understand? Like, first of all, what is a thousandaire? And why is he saying that? Why is he making that comment? Like, what is he trying to explain to me that I'm not getting, right? Because I don't know. I didn't know that this dude was, was a multimillionaire and I didn't know. I mean, I see the house and I see the, I see the Mercedes, his and hers, and and this is in the early 80s, right? Mid 80s. I don't really understand the whole wealth thing, right? I don't know. Only wealth I know is sports wealth. That's the only thing I know. I don't know business wealth or entrepreneurial wealth, or I don't know that. So anyway, that's what he said, and the reason why I bring it up in reference to the back and forth with this guy is the lesson that I got from my mentor was you have to be careful of who you're listening to. It's massively important to evaluate. It doesn't mean that you don't listen. Doesn't mean that you don't have a conversation or a back and forth. But it does also mention that you got to navigate who you're listening to and consider that when you're listening. And it's not because someone is better than the other. It's because the millionaire or the multimillionaire has been on a journey that likely the thousandaire has not been on. Has been on a journey that the thousandaire has not been on. Right? And that reminds me, and I thought about this while I'm watching this video with Raoul Paul and Rand Neuner, and I'm thinking to myself that dude that I had that back and forth with, he hasn't been on that journey that Rand has been on, that Raoul Paul has been on. Probably not even on the journey that I've been on as an entrepreneur. Built a little multi-million-dollar sales and marketing team. I don't know. Probably hasn't been on that type of journey either. But it's not a better than thing. It's just a journey, having been on a journey. So I'm listening to Rand Neuner, and he's talking about he's sharing his journey with Raoul Paul. And I'm thinking to myself, he gives his background. And he establishes initial wealth from building an advertising company. I'm like, okay, an advertising company, cool. Now, if I would have turned it off there, I would have said, okay, build an advertising company. But I didn't turn it off. I continued to listen. And Raoul Paul said, advertising. Okay, yeah, I thought you built a business, but I didn't know. So Rand says, yeah. And then he goes on, and Rand says, yeah, it was 70 locations. He built a advertising business with 70 locations. 70. From an apartment in South Africa with 1,551 employees. 1,551 employees. He became the entrepreneur of the year in South Africa, the business owner of the year, the most successful advertising company in the history of South Africa. $15 years, and he sold the company essentially at the peak of the business, like the business that had its most successful year, and he sold it. I just want you to think about that context of a company with 70 locations, family. 70. That is a crazy number. Employees, I get it. Okay. 1,500, yeah, I get that. 70 different locations. That is a next level thing. And he talks about how he sold it, and and he explains that he had to go, after you sell it, you don't just leave. Okay, here's a check. It's like this exit plan that takes like 3 years. And it's something called like an earn out. You have to go through something what they call an earn out. And it was a 3-year earnout, which would basically mean the other company owns the business, but you're acting still like the CEO. You're still the acting CEO, and you have to produce these certain kind of numbers to continue to earn, quote unquote, this earnout thing. Anyway, right? Interesting journey, right? 15 years building the most successful advertising business in the history of the continent or country, right? In South Africa. Ever. But let me finish. So, okay, cool. He does this. Awesome. He decides that he just, he starts getting into crypto in 2015, and it was just something about it. He was like, he's still a CEO in this earnout period in 2015 with this company, massive multinational company. And he was like, it's just not working. It's not, I can't do both. It's messing up with my head, etc., etc. So he gives up, forfeits his earnout money, which I'm sure was in the millions, if not tens of millions. He forfeits it because he just wants to be up and out of that thing. Yeah. So he does that. He forfeits this. They agree on that. He's still getting 9 figures as an exit, him and his partner. So don't get that twisted, right? So still getting that. Gets into the crypto thing, and for some reason, in the crypto journey, I don't know when it. But in between, let me get it. After he gets into crypto, he gets this idea to do a show for CNBC. I don't know how it happened, but he reached out and said, you guys need to get a crypto show. He reached out to the people in South Africa to do it. Ended up selling them on the idea. And that's how he got, the Rand Nooner show that we used to see on CNBC. If you've been around in crypto, Rand Nooner. That's how most people recognize Rand, was from that show. Right? That's how most people recognize him. It was from that show he was doing on CNBC. It was the world's first ever show on crypto. It was the world's first ever. So you get a little bit of the background, right? That was hugely successful there. Now he had a hugely successful 15, 16, well, basically it was about an 18-year journey in advertising. Gets the banter thing, that show on CNBC, again, massively successful, right? Massively successful. Decides that he's not doing that show anymore. He wants to be full-time crypto. He wants to be full-time. He wants to live his life. He wants to create impact from being in crypto. And he decides that the way he's going to do it is he's going to trade, and he's going to share his trades in full transparency, and he's going to help people in crypto get the financial freedom that he has, help them get it. Right? Here comes Terra Luna. Some people might know about it. Some of you might know about it. Some of you might not. But here comes the Terra Luna thing. And he's all in on Terra Luna. I remember him talking about it. So it's Terra Luna, right? There's a stable coin. I can't remember, right? There's a stable coin. There's the token. There's this, the Do Kwon thing, all of that, right? Right? I mean, while he's doing this, he's building this successful YouTube channel called, Crypto Banter. Right? He's building this thing called Crypto Banter as well, right? And so, anyway, so he makes the call on Luna, right? And I forget what the stablecoin name was. It was like a stablecoin, and it was the Luna token, something along those lines. I don't know. I don't remember. I had a little money over there as well. Now, I didn't realize that he had decided, right? I mean, he's telling people he's in the trade, etc., etc. But he never said how much of the trade he was in. He never said that. So he was in Luna and anything associated with Luna. And again, I think there was 2 or 3 tokens. He said today in his interview with Raoul Pal that 50% of his liquid net worth was in the Luna and other things. 50%. Okay? I discovered today, I thought he quote unquote lost everything, because I heard that he had lost over $100 million in the Luna thing alone. In the Luna thing alone. I didn't know it was 50% of his net worth, though. It was 50% of his net worth. He lost $134 million, and that was 50% of his net worth. Why do I mention that? You got to be careful who you're listening to. You have to know your teachers. I've seen XRP entertaining content creators throw shade on both Rand Nooner and Raoul Pal. On both of those guys. Both of those guys have built hugely successful businesses. Both of them. Ups and downs, wins, losses, whatever. Currently, both of them doing their thing. Hugely successful. Employing a bunch of people. Responsible financially for a bunch of people. Let me say that again. Responsible financially to a bunch of people. And you get people who want to throw shade on them. Like this guy I was having a back and forth with. Without having that measure of success. Why is that important? Because with that measure of success comes growth. It comes personal growth. It comes to going through the ups and the downs. It comes with persistence and commitment. The dude had 70 different locations. 1,500 people he's responsible to financially. But an XRP entertaining content creator wants to throw shade on people like that. Do you understand what I'm saying? Why? Because they get a call wrong? Why? Because out of 10 tokens, 3 of them rug, 2 of them don't do anything, and only 4 or 5 of them win, or only 3 of them win. So everyone pays attention to the rugs. Everyone pays attention to the ones that didn't do anything, that aren't doing anything. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you haven't had that success, which means you haven't been on that journey. How are you qualified to throw shade at them? Do you feel like you're qualified? When I say qualified, do you feel like you've walked in their shoes and you've been on that journey? Let me ask it a little softer tone. Have you ever been responsible for 1,551 people financially? And if you and the thing that you're doing doesn't do well, they don't eat, they don't make their rent, they don't have their lifestyle. Have you ever been on that journey? And know what that's like? That's my thing. You got to be really, really, really careful. And I'm not suggesting that you put Rand or Raoul Paul in down on your mentor list. That's going to be up to you to make that decision. What I've said is publicly is I have put Raoul Paul on that journey, on that. You know, Rand Neuner's style is not necessarily my style, but I have mad respect for him and what he's doing. I have respect for him, especially now, knowing what he's gone through as an entrepreneur. I have more respect for him. And yes, does he get into this crypto stuff where projects are paying him? Yep, he's getting into that. He's getting into this thing where projects are paying him to promote their project. Yep, he's getting into that. Absolutely. And there's an ugly part to that. But his main thing is growing a network and helping those people, that group, make money. Helping them to make money. He said it in an interview. He's trying to help people get financial freedom, the kind of financial freedom that he's had. Now, hey, is he going to be completely, what's the word? Less, I don't know if you call it scammy or shilly. I don't know. But I have a better understanding now. And the reason why I say that is all of us have a responsibility to know the game we're in. And you got to know the players in the game. What do I mean by that? You can't just go from one video or go by one comment on X and then determine or make a determination that is the thing. That is the thing about Solana. That is the thing about Raoul Paul. That's who Raoul Paul is. That's who Rand Neuner is. Making this determination because of a post on X, because of a video on YouTube. You have to be in the journey. Gary Cardone was interviewing the other day. I watched the interview with Gary Cardone. He was interviewing the guy who leads. He's the head of the digital asset division at Deloitte, who happens to, by the way, Deloitte's part of that, the top, the big four. It's 500,000 employees. 500,000 employees, by the way. The guy at Deloitte said, you cannot, if you're going to be in crypto, you can't be in crypto part-time. That's what he said. If you're going to be if you want to really win, you got to go all in. You have to be full-time in this. Full-time is going to be relative for people who have jobs. I get it. And my point to that is, are you going to listen to an XRP entertaining content creator and come to your decision on that who's not been on a journey? Are you going to make your final determination about a dude or a project from a solo post, from a solo interview, from a solo video? Or are you going to do your homework? Are you going to do your due diligence to learn about the dude, to learn about the project? It ain't going to happen from just one video. It ain't going to happen from just one post on X. Well, some of you might be saying, I don't have the time to do that. Then why throw shade on someone when you realize you're not fully educated? Why join in on someone else's view of a person or a project if you're not fully invested into it? Right? If you're going to get to a point to make a determination about a person or a thing or a project or token, are you fully vested in it? I just listened to this interview, and both Raoul Pal and Rand Neuner ran learning a lesson. Raoul Pal suggesting how he had learned this lesson early on from his trading days. But basically they were saying that you do your homework, you do your due diligence. Because Rand Neuner said, I had to learn, this is what he said, I had to learn because in his situation, he had some critics, the Luna critics, right? And he was defending himself. I mean, he was like, and what I mean by defending, he wasn't defending himself. He was attacking those who were attacking him, who were, as he thought, were attacking him. And so he was attacking them because he thought they were attacking him. When in reality, they were posing negative views for him, and that he should have taken the views as a way to help him make a better decision, evaluate his decision, and apply what we like to say, the principle of discernment. And welcome the different perspectives. And say, wonder why this person is throwing shade. Why is Raoul Pal talking about an old narrative for XRP? Why is he saying that? Not get emotional and go attack like I saw some XRP holders were doing. Take in their perspective. Why is he thinking this way? Why is he saying that? And Raoul Pal said he had learned that, his job was to do his homework, do his due diligence, make his own call, and then make sure he's right by listening to all the other stuff, taking it in, and making sure that decision is right. Welcome the other perspectives. Don't view it as attacks or being negative. Take it in. See if it makes sense to you. Like I did on my live stream the other day with Raoul Pal's video. I said, old narrative. Well, my guess is he doesn't know that Ripple has gone from doing all this stuff with the banks and off-chain to more stuff on-chain, that they're getting into tokenization and stablecoin. He probably does not know that. But the part about being in old narratives is 1000% correct. And that you as an investor don't want to be hanging your hat on old narratives. The assets class is what it is. And when it comes to, if you're here to make money, there's some stuff that, is moving, right? So in other words, there was some good to take from that 128 seconds, minute and 28 seconds video. And there was some other stuff where I could listen to and say, well, I got it, but that doesn't apply in this situation. You understand? Not, he's a dirt bag, he's a shill, he just wants you to buy his Solana bags. All this unsophisticated investor talk. That's what it is. In the end, that's just unsophisticated investor talk. Sophisticated investors take in the opposing views, the quote-unquote negative views. They take in the attacks and say, I wonder why they're saying this thing about that thing. Like, I wonder why they're doing that. You know what I mean? And then they apply the principle of discernment. Say, this, I take this part here. Okay, this makes sense. I take that part. Well, that doesn't make sense. I understand why he's saying this and why he's saying that. Okay, but it doesn't really apply. He doesn't probably know that. The XRPL has got this awesome AMM, and we're getting into tokenization. He probably doesn't know that. But not take it as some kind of personal attack. That's why I said in the video, I welcome you. Let's get on that journey together of becoming a sophisticated investor, not some emotional gambler. My guy Jungles mentioned that the other day. I thought it was apropos. So in any case, there it is, fam. I just wanted to share that with you. I hope that it has been valuable. This wraps up your XRP Ripple Drive Time news. Listen, do me a favor and hit that like button if you've been enjoying the content, and if you happen to be in that 45 to 50% of people who are listening to and watching and haven't subscribed to the channel. If you've been enjoying the Hangouts, please consider subscribing to the channel. And don't forget to ring that notification bell, baby, so that you know whenever we go live or whenever we upload a video. I'm going to end this one like I do all my videos and remind you guys of this, that old money doesn't want you to win. But that's okay, though, because you and I, we're already winning. And I would ask you to consider this, perhaps ponder the idea or notion of living your life permissionless. I'll talk to you guys soon. See ya.